Hello, I'm James Ezimoha. Welcome to Africa News, where we bring you the latest updates from across the African continent. Let's dive in. France has pulled 2 fighter jets out of Chad, signaling the end of the defense cooperation agreement between the two countries. Chad's decision to end military cooperation will see the complete withdrawal of French troops from the country.
France has started withdrawing its military forces from Chad with the departure of 2 warplanes stationed in N'Djamena, the capital, the French army announced. The specifics of the withdrawal, including whether any French troops will remain in Chad, are still under negotiation. However, on Tuesday, the first Mirage fighter jets returned to their base in eastern France. This move comes after France had already withdrawn troops from Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger due to military coups and growing anti-French sentiment in those countries. Currently, around 1,000 French troops remain in Chad. Army spokesman Chinese Isaka Ahik confirmed the departure of the French warplanes and stated that updates on the withdrawal would be shared with the public until the complete departure of French forces. However, a French envoy recently presented President Emmanuel Macron with a report suggesting ways to scale back France's military presence in Chad, Gabon and Ivory Coast.
Over in Türkiye, Somalia and Ethiopia have agreed a joint declaration to resolve their dispute over the breakaway region of Somaliland and landlocked Ethiopia's push for sea access. After negotiations mediated by Ankara, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud reached common ground. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called the agreement a historic milestone. The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, in a statement, praised both countries for their commitment to resolving disputes through friendship and mutual respect. Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama has pledged to honor the country's $3 billion IMF rescue package, but plans to review the deal. Mahama, who won the December 7 election with 56.55% of the vote, said he would focus on reducing wasteful state spending and improving the energy sector. He also aims to tackle inflation and currency depreciation to ease the ongoing cost of living crisis. Ghana is recovering from its worst economic crisis in a generation, facing challenges in its cocoa and gold industries. While the IMF deal has helped stabilize the economy, Mahama says more work is needed to improve the lives of Ghanaians.
Because of the severe economic crisis we have and what Ghanaians are going through, obviously people expect that with the experience I have, I would work quickly to turn things around. And so I'm determined to do that. I'm going to put my soul, my physique and everything into it. I'm going to give Ghanaians hard work. I'm going to choose a solid team. Let me be clear, when I talk about renegotiation, I don't mean we're jettisoning the program. People think that we want to jettison the program. No. We were not at the desk when the IMF program was negotiated. And so we're inheriting a program that we were not a party to. But of course, it was negotiated by the sovereign government of this country. And so we're bound by it. But what we're saying is within the ambit of the program, it should be possible to make some, adjustments. We live in a competitive sub-region. And so FDI finds where it will get the best place for investment. So we need to look at all those taxes and see how we can rationalize the taxes. They have not put enough pressure on government to cut wasteful expenditure. And so there's still a lot in the budget that should have been cut to bring expenditure down so that it helps to bring the deficit down as quickly as possible. We're going to cut the budget of the Office of the President because if the President is asking us to tighten his belt, he must also tighten his belt. And so we're going to look at the Office of the President budget and see where we can slash something so that we can use the money saved to fund some of our programs.
South African President Cyril Ramaphosa hosted Angolan President João Lourenço in Pretoria on Thursday. It was a high-level meeting aimed at strengthening the ties between the two nations. The meeting set the stage for the South Africa-Angola Business Forum. During the forum, President Ramaphosa emphasized the need for African countries to shift away from their roles as mere suppliers of raw materials and focus on creating value-added industries. The forum brought together business leaders, government officials, and development institutions looking to explore opportunities that will strengthen trade ties between the two nations.
The era has passed of African countries being locked into the lower end of global value chains as mere suppliers of raw materials. And we've been raising this issue for years, and we now need to see traction. And in this regard, as South Africa, we are most impressed with President Lourenço's vision for the Lobito Trans-Africa Corridor as an economic development zone. The Development Bank of Southern Africa is already supporting the development of the Lobito Railway Corridor, and we are keen to explore other avenues so that we can enhance and enrich our collaboration in this regard.
Angola and South Africa, as leading economies within the SADC region, do possess natural complementarities that can generate transforming impacts, not only for our nations, but for the whole continent. At this event, we have the occasion of identifying areas of common interest, unleash and boost economic and financial partnerships, reaffirming our determination in continuing to strengthen the historical bonds and build a future of shared prosperity.
South Africa is set to host the first Formula One race on African soil in nearly 3 decades. While fans are thrilled, some in the racing community have raised concerns about the accessibility of the sport and its appeal to South Africans beyond the elite circles.
The last time South Africa hosted a major motorsport event was in 1993. Nearly 3 decades later, Killarney Grand Prix Circuit is partnering with Apex Circuit Design to bring Formula One back to African soil. Motorsport fans are eager to see Formula One return to South Africa and are hoping to see their favorite drivers in the nearest future.
I'm a huge car fanatic, so starting from the specs of the engines, hearing those huge roars, and I mean, I'm in the neighborhood of Lone Hill, and just hearing those roars every morning, it's really just an atmosphere that you want to get down and see, So yeah, it's been a pleasure coming in this morning, seeing just how the atmosphere and how everyone just loves to just, embark on this journey and be in the process of the development of the sport in this country. It's amazing, yeah?
I feel like it's the adrenaline. Number one, I actually don't really watch it, but after today, I am like, this is insane. I love it. I love it. It's just getting to see people do all of this without any effort, but with so much effort at the same time.
However, some voices in the local racing community express concern that the sport is still largely inaccessible to the majority of South Africans. They say more needs to be done to educate the public about motorsport and make it more inclusive.
Before you bring in Formula One, because a lot of people don't have access to TVs. When they watch TV, they watch news. They don't watch Formula One. They don't know that there is this thing called motorsport. There's Formula One. There's endurance series in South Africa. So there needs to be education that motorsport is a sport, and it is part of sport.
My question is, are we ready for Formula One? I certainly think a minority of our population will say yes. I'm not sure the majority of the population understands motorsport. So, are we ready? I don't think we are. Is the facility ready? They're very close to it.
7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton has also called for Africa to claim its place in Formula One. urging the sport to be brought to the continent.
Still on Formula One, Rwandan President Paul Kagame on Friday announced his country's bid for a Formula One race. The announcement was made ahead of an awards ceremony in the capital, Kigali, where Max Verstappen will be handed the Champions Trophy for a fourth year in a row.
I'm happy to formally announce that Rwanda is bidding to bring the thrill of racing back to Africa by hosting Formula One Grand Prix. A big thank you to Stefano Domenicali and the entire team at Formula One for the good progress in our discussions so far. Sometimes when a non-traditional host country is announced, it is as if we did something wrong. If you judge by especially the media reaction, these attitudes have to be left in the past. Rwanda is ready, and we want to welcome even more fans and visitors while aiming for the highest quality standards in everything we do. We ask for your engagement and partnership.
That's all we have for today on Africa News. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to A News.